class. Today we are on Saxon Math Book 4, Lesson 61, and today we're going to be talking about remaining fractions and two-step equations. So for our first example here, we're going to look at this circle. If you notice, this circle is divided into equal pieces to the best of my eyeball ability, but for the sake of our example, we're going to say they are equal pieces. And let's count them. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces shaded, and a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So, what fraction is shaded? Easy, you guys have been doing this for years. 3 pieces are shaded out of 8 pieces total, so 3/8 is shaded. So today we're going to kind of flip that and say, well, what fraction is not shaded? That's the remaining part of the fraction. So if we're talking about 3/8, what part of the fraction are we ignoring? That's going to be these pieces here that are not colored in. So 3 of the 8 are shaded. How many are left? We just take our denominator here and say, well, we have 8. I've got 3 of them colored in. So there should be 5 that aren't colored in, and then we can count that to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly. So the unshaded portion of this circle is 5/8. Okay, for our next example, we're talking about a pizza, and my pizza is cut into 8ths. So I'm going to keep this circle up. It says the pizza was cut into 8 equal slices after Willis, Hunter, and Suelita each took a slice. So that's 3 people, Willis, Hunter, Suelita. After they each took a slice, what fraction of the pizza was left? So take a look at my picture here. We had 8 slices. Let's say Willis ate this one that's colored in. Hunter ate this one that's colored in. Suelita ate the third one that's colored in. So what fraction is left? That would be these parts that aren't shaded. So again, 5/8. If you want to think about it instead of as fractions, you can say, okay, there were 8 slices of pizza. 3 people ate a slice. How many slices are left? 5. But now in 4th grade, we're going to take that 5 and write it compared to the whole pizza as a fraction. So 5/8 of the pizza are left. All right. Our next example says 2/5 of the crowd cheered. Yay! What fraction of the crowd did not cheer? So we have to think about this. I don't want to draw a crowd. I'm sure on your homework you guys don't want to draw a crowd of people. So maybe we draw it as a rectangle. And our crowd is split into fifths. So I'm going to split my rectangle into fifths. 2/5 of the crowd cheered. So these guys cheered and these guys cheered. The question says, what fraction of the crowd did not cheer? Well, what fraction do I have left? I have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. 3/5 of the crowd did not cheer. All right, you'll get some more practice problems with remaining fractions in your homework and in our lesson practice today. For now, we're going to move on to two-step equations. So they sound big and scary, but really all we're talking about is an equation where we have to do 2 things in order to solve it. So here's our first example. It says 2n equals 7 plus 5. What this means is n stands for something, some number. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to figure it out. 2 times, remember when you have a letter and a number next to each other, there's like an invisible little multiplication sign in there. So it means 2 times some number is equal to 7 plus 5. Before we can figure out our answer, we have to do the first step, which is adding 7 plus 5. So what is 7 plus 5? It's equal to 12. And then this problem you've seen before. 2 times something is equal to 12. What do I have to do? Well, I have to know my multiplication facts because I could say, oh, right, I know what times 2 equals 12. If I haven't yet memorized my multiplication facts, I could draw a picture. 2 groups of what equals 12. So that's what I'm going to do here for this first example. We would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 dots. Here's one group. Here's another group. How many are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. So our answer, our n, is equal to 6. All right, our next example is 3m equals 4 times 6. And I'm not sure if this has been in our book before. This little dot here might be new for you. We call this notation. Notation is just how mathematicians write things. You guys are used to seeing this as our multiplication symbol. However, notice that we're putting letters into our math problems now. It's a times symbol, but it's also an X. So mathematicians, as you get into higher grades, decided, man, having that times symbol look like an X can be really confusing. So instead, we're going to change it to just this dot. This dot means exactly the same thing. You're still multiplying. So in this example, we have 3 times something equals 4 times 6. Step 1, we have to figure out what is 4 times 6. So hopefully you've got your multiplication facts memorized and you can say, what is it? 24. If you didn't have them memorized, you could count either by 4s or by 6s. Let's count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 4 times 6 is 24. So now step 2 is I have to figure out what number times 3 is also going to give me 24. 3 times what equals 24. Again, you got to have those multiplication facts memorized. 3 times, did you say 8? 3 times 8 equals 24. So m must be equal to 8. And there is our answer. All right, I have a few lesson practice problems. These problems are also in your book on page 396. If you'd like to turn there and do them on your own. But I am also going to write them on the board. Put me on pause after I get all the problems up here, and then we'll go over the answers together. So the first one is a picture. And A, I'm not going to write the question, but it says, what fraction of this picture is not shaded? What fraction is not shaded? So that's A. I'll just write not shaded to remind you. B says 3/5 of the race was over. What fraction was left? Three-fifths of the race was over. What fraction was left? C is 2n equals, oh, I think I wrote that backwards. 2n equals 2 plus 8. And D, 2 plus n equals 2 times 8. Okay, those are your lesson practice problems. Put me on pause, give them a shot, and we'll go over them just as soon as you hit play again. Okay, I'm going to try to write my answer. Actually, you know what? I have a blue. Try to write my answers in a different color so they show up, but I also know it's tough to see this on the screen. So, A, what fraction is not shaded? I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces are not shaded out of 6 pieces total. So our answer would be 5/6. B, 3/5 of the race was over. What fraction is left? 3 out of 5 taken care of. How many more are there? 2 out of, how many are there total? 2 out of 5. 2/5 of the race is left. All right, here are 2-step equations. Hopefully you added 2 plus 8 first. You would get 10. So 2 times what number equals 10? Our n is 5. And for D, here we have to multiply 2 times 8 first. We'll get 16. So we have 2 plus n. They switched this one up on you a little bit. 2 plus what number is going to give me 16? Well, 2 plus 14 will give me 16. So n must equal 14. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for you to start your written practice. That also begins on page 396. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.